We want to congratulate Georgia Tech on winning the 72nd Tax Slayer Bowl. And so we will have Coach Johnson open up with a statement, and then we'll take questions, and then we'll do the players right after.
Okay, well, first of all, I was really proud of my team and the way that they were resilient and kept fighting today. Hats off to the University of Kentucky. I thought that they played really hard and competed the whole game. And we were fortunate we made some plays when we had to have them. And, you know, we hit a few more big plays than they did, and that was probably the difference in the game.
Questions? Repeat where you're, or tell us where you're from before you tell us the question.
Rod McKenzie, GoJackets.com. A lot of big fourth down plays that went your way today, and that seemed like it was a big key to the game. Yeah,
we got some good stops defensively on fourth down that helped, and you know, I went brain dead there from my own 10. But I was going to call timeout, but when they didn't cover the guard, I figured we'd let it roll, and we did, and got the first down, so it was good. Went on down and scored.
Gary Smith, Florida Top Union. Coach Dedrick has had quite the freshman year in a lot of regards. You know, a little bit eventful on and off the field, but you know, what do you think today's game does for him moving forward? And do you feel like the maturity level is also going to keep improving and going forward from here?
Well, I certainly hope so. I think he can be a very special player. He's a very talented young man, and we've got to try to help him grow up. Sometimes at that age when you're 18, and we all didn't make great decisions, and it's our job to help him make the right decisions, because he's got a bright future if he'll continue to work hard. I was getting on him today. I told him he was getting a little fat, but he was a workhorse today, man. He played tough.
Ben Bridges, WMOQ. Coach Johnson, 3 wins last year, 9 this year. Big win over Georgia. Tax Slayer Trophy going back to Atlanta. You got to love the momentum going into the spring.
I do. We're 3-0 in the SEC East and got Tennessee next. So it's hopefully we can take this and build on it. We've got a good nucleus returning, but we lose some really key players. Offensively, I always kind of look at the offense like a baseball up the middle, and we lose our center, quarterback, which are both 3-year starters. It'll be big guys to replace. And defensively, we lose some key defensive linemen, and P.J. Davis will be hard to replace as well.
Coach, going back to that fourth down play, obviously a big play, but were you concerned the fact that they were that close and it was still a 10-3 game at that point?
Yeah, I'm always concerned. We called it on doubles. The guy flew back, which gave me a chance to look and see how they were lined up. And if they didn't jump all sides, had they been lined up down in the gaps or whatever, I would have taken a timeout. I had the official standing by me. When they didn't cover the guard, it's kind of a gimme. I mean, if we don't drop the snap or whatever, and JT didn't give me much time to think about it, he quick snapped me. So it was, we ran behind Parker Braun, who's one of our better players, and Diedrich's one of our better players, even though they're freshmen, and worked out.
Coach Johnson, Patrick Conroe, Dahlonega Nugget, please take us to the play call in the final scoring drive, the pass Ricky June.
Yeah. They had been, I noticed the drive before, they were firing the corner on tail motion, and so what we called was a stop route, but I thought they might fire the corner, and they did. And so there was nobody to cover him. And, when the tail motion guy came, I think they thought it was a run, and they fired the guy, and, JT made a nice throw, and that's still a good catch, because in that situation, with that much pressure, it would have been easy. We had a couple drops today, but Ricky made a nice play on it.
Paul, Steve Harwood, the Atlanta-Journal-Constitution. Looking at the fullness, I guess, of Justin's career over the year, what are your predominant thoughts about his career at Tech?
Well, I mean, he's had a great career, no doubt. and he's such a great kid. I mean, he's just been a joy to coach and a joy to work with. He's got a great football mind. I think when he finishes playing football, he wants to coach, and he'll be really good at it. Nothing much bothers him. He stays pretty calm and that. But I think he'll go down. Sometimes you have to be gone for a year or two before people really realize what you did. And there's no question that he'll go down as one of the greats at Georgia Tech. I mean, he's had a heck of a career.
Mark Russell with the Technique Coach. Can you talk about what Harrison Buckhurst meant to this program the last 4 years?
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, I was so happy for Harrison today. What did he hit? 4 field goals. Yeah, and it's really something, because I was joking with him all leading up to the game that we were going to go for 2 on extra points, and he wasn't going to. He was tied for the all-time leading scores at Georgia Tech, and he was clutch. I mean, he was clutch. The one before halftime was big. The one to go up by 16 was big. I kind of, that's one I could kick myself in the tail for, because I kind of played to go up 16. I didn't want to take a chance on not getting 3 points there on the third down, and I was about that close to throwing it off the play, which would have been a walk-in touchdown if I'd have done it. That was a bad call on my part, but that was clutch. I mean, to make that field goal, and I felt like if we got up 16, the odds of them getting 2 scores and 2 two-point conversions weren't real good.
John Wong, Nolan Group. Coach, there was a sequence in the first quarter where Coach Soup seemed pretty agitated with what was going on your sidelines. What was your interpretation of what was happening at that time?
I have no idea. On our sidelines? You'd have to ask him. He didn't say anything after the game or whatever. I wouldn't have any idea.
Coach Stoops mentioned that the offensive line did a great job against Louisville in the previous game. Today, you had their quarterback on the run. What did you see from the defensive line today?
Yeah, I thought we got good pressure. We struggled at times to contain, and he's really good at that. Going in, that was one of my biggest concerns. Excuse me, and he hurt us the one long run there in the fourth quarter. But all in all, we got pretty good pressure. Yeah, I thought the defensive line, did pretty well.
Kelly Quinlan, Jackets Online. Can you talk a little bit about the officiating in the first half? I know you can't get into it. Just seemed like maybe they were a little flustered, or there were some bizarre sequences for both sides. Both you and Coach Stoops were chewing them out.
Yeah, I mean, it's, the game's over. I'm sure it's those officials have a tough job, and everybody doesn't see things the same way. So, I got on our guys at halftime, and when I say our guys, I'm the lead culprit, that I didn't want anybody saying anything to the officials in the second half. It just doesn't do any good. And I'm sure they're doing the best they can do. I'll just leave it at that.
It seemed pretty feisty, some stuff after the plays were over. What was kind of your sense of just the level of aggression?
Probably some frustration. We did some dumb stuff. I mean, the one right at the kickoff to start the second half, I mean, we would have got a 15-yard penalty on the guy, and we've got to hold our composure better than that. It's a physical game, emotional game, and the way the game was going, both sides wanted to win, and they were competing.
Can you talk about the strip and the fumble recovery by P.J.? You had Pat and P.J. make big plays for you.
Yeah, no, that was a great play. I mean, they were trying to run a sprint-out pass, and P.J. came on a blitz and slapped the ball loose and picked it up and was able to get it in the end zone. Couldn't think of a better way to start the game. I mean, that was a great way to start.
Any other questions?
The block pump could have been huge. And we made a mistake there. I mean, you don't ever fall on that ball, especially not in the last, minute. And then we had a drop and then an overthrow. I mean, if we could have gotten more than 3 out of that, that would have been huge.
Coach, how serious was the injury to Brandon, and when did he go out?
We don't know how serious it is. We're hoping it could be, you'd just be speculating right now to say anything. He went out, I think, right at the start of the fourth quarter. Yeah.
Coach, do you think that block punt was a result of the rugby style approach? I noticed on the
Our block punt?
Yes.
Yes, it was. He stepped right into the guy.
So
it was a bad snap, too. It was a low snap, but
pulled him off to the right, his right a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But on the on the punt following same, he punted straight ahead. Was that his call? Is that his call to make normally?
No. That's our special teams coach, and he's done a great job all year. I mean, our punt team's been really good all year.
Sure.
In the last half of the year, Ryan Rodwell's done a great job. So it was just unfortunate. The defense went out and did a great job holding them.
Thank you.
All right, that's it.
Just so everybody knows, we've got 3 players coming in here, and then after this is done, we'll have 4 more back at our locker room. Outside our locker room.
So the players that are coming in are Dedrick Mills, Pat Gamble, and Justin Thomas. Congrats, guys. Great job. Good job.
Yeah, he gonna get it, man.
Good job, man. Good job.
Greatness always in the middle.
All right, we'll just open it up for questions.
Dedrick, over here. First of all, what's your best guess on how many family and friends you had that came down to watch? And can you talk a bit? You've had an interesting freshman season, to say the least. On and off the field. What do you think this game does for you going forward in your career? And have there been a couple lessons you've learned this season?
I mean, I learned a lot, playing with these guys, the big boys. So, I mean, it kind of like motivated me, as far as I'm going down the line, to push harder, because I know they ain't going to be here no more. So I got to go twice as hard as I did this season.
And what about how many family and friends you think?
And so, I mean, I had 20 tickets of my own because players gave me some. So I had at least like 20-some family members, and then my godparents bought 43 tickets, and they sold all them. So I had a good bit, about 60 people here.
Dedrick and Justin, talk about the 4th and 1 play at the 15-yard line. What were your thoughts about that play?
I mean, I feel like, the 4th and 1, if it's there, we got to get it. And I know we're going for it. I know it's coming to me, so we got to get it.
Yeah, I mean, I knew we had to get it. If we didn't get it, that was points given to them, without them having to get a yard. So I thought he was going to call timeout after the first one got in motion, but he didn't, and we were getting 5-6 yards, carry with Mills anyway. So it was going to be a first down. We already felt it regardless.
How surprised were you that he did go for it?
I was surprised, especially that early in the game and being that far on your own side of the field. So, but that's just the trust he had in us, and we made him right.
Justin and Pat, has it sunk in that this is your last college game, and kind of what are your emotions like right now?
Well, I mean, I guess going into it, it's our last one, but it was a great feeling. Everything has to come to an end one day, and happy to end it like this, and looking forward to see what the future holds.
Yeah, same what Justin said, man. And, everything had to come to an end, but I love my time here at Tech, man. I wouldn't trade it for nothing. And my teammates, the school, the institution, man, I wouldn't trade it for nothing, man. And it hit me when I got the trophy and I held it up, and that was my last time out here with them boys, man. So, it hit me then, but, they got a lot of success ahead of them. So they just got to keep pushing on.
Justin, what do you see for the future for you now? Where do you go from here?
Well, I guess for me, I'll probably take a week or two off, and then I'll start training to go to the next level. And word is out, and If you don't, then you got to find something else. But I plan for it to work out.
And your last collegiate pass was a completion and a very big one. How did you see that play unfolding, and how important do you think that play was in the final reckoning here?
No, I think it was very important. You know, they were following the corners late in the game, like basically every play, because they knew we were trying to run the clock out, and we was getting 5-6 yards of carry, so they was just trying to add on as much as possible. So we kind of changed up the play call, how we did it, and sent the guy in motion. And they thought we were trying to run it again, and had nobody over the top to help the far corner.
Pat, the defensive line did a great job today putting pressure on the quarterback. Your last career tackle was a tackle for a loss. How satisfying was that, especially with the physicality of the play up front today?
It was very important for us in the game plan. You know, we had to get pressure when they threw the ball. We knew they was going to run the football. We had to sustain that, but when it was time for them to throw the ball, you know, we had to, push and get some pressure, man, and luckily we did that, so it's a good feeling, good way to go out.
Gary Smith, Florida Times Union. Patrick, you start the game, fourth play of the game with a defensive touchdown, probably with the knowledge that your offense is going to score points for you and everything. When you start out with a defensive touchdown, is that as good an omen as you can get for what might happen the rest of the game?
Oh yeah, it definitely is, because when you can get a defensive touchdown, we scored first and the offense hadn't touched the field. That's always a plus. Them extra points on the board, and our offense kept moving the ball well today, so it helped out in our favor.
Pat, there was some push and shove and a lot of unsportsmanlike penalty calls. I'm curious what you thought when you did that happen.
We just out there playing hard, man. We 21, 22-year-old men. You get the pushing and shoving. It's always gonna be some talking, man. But we gotta learn to keep our composure. But it's just a part of the game. It's a part of the game. No harm, no foul.
Justin, take us back to that 4th and 1, please. Early in the first half, deep in your own territory. You spoke this a minute ago. The guard wasn't covered. You shift one back down, and Coach Johnson said a minute ago that you might have quick snapped him a little bit. I think he was joking, but were you trying to get that play off in a hurry before he called the timeout?
No, I was just the guards weren't covered the whole game. Basically, they were in a 3-4 defense, but that's just how it usually times up in practice. When we send the motion, guy sits for a second, and I snap it. He's saying I quick snapped him. I probably snapped it before he could call the timeout.
Right.
But it ended up, going in our favor, and it's kind of good that we didn't get the timeout.
Very good. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right. You got one?
I guess for the two seniors, the way you guys finished the year, getting these wins after the kind of rough start at the beginning of the season, how nice is it to kind of go on another high note like you guys did in 2014?
It's great. We came in, I guess, our first season really playing for real for me. We went out on a high note, had a great season. Last year was true, it was horrible. It was something that you wouldn't want to experience. So just coming out and our class regrouping and getting the guys together and to come out and have the season we had this year, I think it was a great turnaround and it was a great finish to our career.
Yeah, it was awesome finish. Like you said, start off 3-3, and wound up even winning 6 of the last 7. So I mean, it couldn't end in a better way for us. Then come out here to a prestigious bowl like the Tax Slayer Bowl, man, and bring home a win. Definitely something to remember, for the rest of your life.
Justin, how was the transition when Freddie went out and Kenny came in? Was it pretty smooth for you?
Yeah. It was just like, didn't really think much of it. It came in, Kenny did his job, and couldn't ask for him to step in and do any better, truthfully.
Last question.
Question for Justin and Diedrich both. Diedrich, how tough was the line up in the middle? And Justin, could you just kind of comment on what you saw out of Diedrich running there? You gave a lot of tough yards, look like.
I mean, it wasn't that tough, it wasn't that tough, falling up behind the offensive line, just running off their blocks, and it made it easier for me to find holes and get through them.
I mean, I think he was running hard. You know, he was coming in as a true freshman, running hard from day one when he stepped on campus. So I think he translated over, and you know, the guys up front were doing their jobs. They were moving the guys off the line, getting the backers, and you know, made his job easier. So he will have to stay on them to make sure they keep doing that for him to make him look good.
All right, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, players that we'll have outside of our locker room, where you go out here and make a right down.